Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is a screencast-o-matic presentation and recording for the part of the lesson that has us analyzing the Cabinet, the executive departments of the executive branch. Before we get started, please let me encourage you to open up to today's lesson, scroll down the correct section, and get ready to fill in the content that coincides with the presentation. Please also remember to replay any part of this presentation for detailed clarity or repetition should you need further assistance. Please also remember to answer any key concept questions that happen to appear throughout the notes or at the end. Let's go ahead and get started. The Cabinet and the executive departments of the executive branch. The Cabinet is made up of the leaders of the 15 executive departments in the executive branch of the federal government. The head of each department is called the Secretary, except for the head of the Department of Justice, who is called the Attorney General. Now, Cabinet members and their top aides are appointed by the President and confirmed by the Senate. So basically, a president may appoint whoever they want to the position, however they need the final approval from the U.S. Senate. Cabinet members head the departments and advise the President of the United States accordingly. Recent presidents have added a number of top officials to their cabinet, including the Vice President, their Chief Domestic Policy Advisor, the Counselor to the President, and the head of the EPA, or the Environmental Protection Agency. Cabinet members tend to be from the same political party as the president and often play a major role in the recent presidential campaign. Sometimes, presidents, once they make it in office, might return the favor to their closest friends who have experience in said fields of specific executive departments to those said positions. Now let's go ahead and give you a breakdown of each cabinet department. The Department of State was essentially founded in 1789 and carries out foreign policy, handles relations with other countries too. They supervise ambassadors, ministers, and consuls. They represent the United States in the United Nations, which is an international peacekeeping body, and issues passports and visas, and essentially they oversee diplomatic immunity, which is where officials are not subject to the laws of the country they are in and cannot be arrested, and embassies cannot be entered in without consent. Now let's go ahead and talk about the next department, the Department of the Treasury. Founded in 1789, the Department of Treasury pays the bills for the federal government. Essentially, they're in charge of overseeing the printing and coinage of money, and they inform the President of financial matters. Sometimes the Department of Treasury plays a key role whenever a looming economic recession happens to appear on the horizons, and offer insights of what to do as far as in terms of executive policies and ambitions. Now, in terms of the Department of Treasury, this also includes the IRS, or the Internal Revenue Service, which collects taxes and enforces the tax code. This also consists of the Customs Service, which collects taxes on goods brought into the United States. And this also pertains to the Secret Service. Did you know that the Secret Service was actually created to combat counterfeiting? In 1865, actually 1/3 of circulating currency was counterfeit. So protecting the President and other high-ranking officials was added after President McKinley's assassination in 1901. So essentially, the Secret Service falls under this domain. Now, in terms of understanding the Cabinet more fully, let's go ahead and look at the Department of Defense. Founded in 1789, originally the Department of War, the Department of Defense oversees a lot. Reorganized in 1947 and named Department of Defense in 1949, the Department of Defense maintains the armed forces and establishes training and education of military officers. Essentially, we're talking about West Point Army, the Naval Academy, which oversees the Navy and Marines, the Air Force Academy, which obviously pertains to the Air Force, and more. The Joint Chiefs of Staff are also a key part of the Department of Defense. These people are the highest-ranking officers of each branch of the military. They advise the President on national defense issues and military affairs too. As Commander-in-Chief, communication is really important to the President and also to these branches as well. Next up here is the Department of the Interior. Founded in 1849, the Department of the Interior manages the nation's natural resources, parks, and federal lands. The Department of the Interior also contains the following agencies: the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Bureau of Mines, the Bureau of Reclamation, and also National Park Service. There are so many national parks in America, and additionally some might credit Theodore Roosevelt to be the king of conservation, who set aside, I believe, the most federal land for national parks. Now let's go ahead and focus on the Department of Justice, or the DOJ. Founded in 1870, the Department of Justice is headed by the Attorney General, as stated before. They essentially enforce the federal laws of the land. They represent the federal government in lawsuits, and they're responsible for immigration and naturalization procedures. The DOJ also runs the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or the FBI. The Department of Justice also oversees and runs the Bureau of Prisons, which operates federal prisons accordingly. Now, in terms of the Department of Agriculture, founded in 1889, this department is huge as well. This aids in research, raising, and marketing of crops, and essentially, they're meant to help farmers too. They run the food stamp and school lunch programs, and you might be surprised to know that the Department of Agriculture also oversees the amusement park industry too. Now let's go ahead and focus on the Department of Commerce. The Department of Commerce actually provides assistance to American businesses. The Department of Commerce conducts the national census, which we talked about in the previous unit with the population headcount. They issue patents and trademarks, and they also maintain official weights and measures inside the United States. Now let's go ahead and focus on the Department of Labor. Founded in 1913 during the Progressive Era, the Department of Labor enforces laws to protect workers. They also help run job training and unemployment programs too. The Department of Labor also provides statistics on prices and levels of employment to the government. In many ways, if there's a huge issue with workers' rights or issues on unionization, the Department of Labor often comes to be of great importance. Now let's go ahead and focus on the Department of Health and Human Services. Founded in 1953, the Department of Health and Human Services directs the Social Security and Medicare programs of the United States. The Department of Health and Human Services also runs the Food and the Drug Administration, which essentially oversees the safe production and distribution of safe foods, beverages, and drugs in the United States. Next here is the Department of Housing and Urban Development, founded in 1965. The Department of Housing and Urban Development helps provide housing for low-income citizens. The Department of Housing and Urban Development also assists state and local governments with urban issues and concerns. So, for example, the Department of Housing and Urban Development might look at ways to provide relief to people who are homeless during a time of high unemployment and economic recession. Next up is the Department of Transportation, founded in 1966. The Department of Transportation essentially helps state and local governments maintain highways. Additionally, another key part of their job is to enforce transportation safety standards across many modes of public transportation. Their job also includes the Federal Aviation Administration, or the FAA, for safe travels. Next up is the Department of Energy, founded in 1977. The Department of Energy conducts research on sources of energy inside the United States. They also promote conservation of energy too. Additionally, the Department of Energy is also key for, as you can see by this picture, nuclear power plants and understanding some of the best ways to implement safe practices. Next up here is the Department of Education. The Department of Education was founded in 1977, and essentially their main job is to provide assistance to schools. Additionally, of course, their main job is also to conduct research and provide statistics on education. If you've ever wondered why you're learning, what you're learning in school, in many ways the Department of Education takes a sole key responsibility for that and of that. The Department of Education is also in charge of making sure that the funds are allocated to schools that need it the most under the criteria that the federal government has set. And next up here is the Department of Veterans Affairs, founded in 1988. This department gives medical, educational, and financial help to veterans who've bravely served our country in uniform. Additionally, it provides financial help to veterans' families as well. This can be incredibly helpful and beneficial, especially if an active service member has died, and of course their family might need the ways and means to support themselves accordingly. Next up here is the Department of Homeland Security, which was founded in the year 2002. The Department of Homeland Security is tasked with keeping America safe and wide-spanning duties from cybersecurity to border security and protections against domestic terrorism. Essentially, the Department of Homeland Security was created after the events of September 11th, 2001. So as you guys can see, there's several things to learn here about debates and essentially, you could debate the whole notion of how much these cabinet positions actually do with the actual process of governing the country from an executive standpoint. Presidential commissions can also be debated to be a key part of the executive branch. Sometimes people allude to the fact that commissions have a lot of power too. Presidential commissions are special groups created to investigate or research an issue or a problem. They exist as long as they receive funding, and some examples might be the Warren Commission, which investigated the assassination of President Kennedy, and the 9/11 Commission, and additionally the Opioid and Drug Abuse Commission too. Commissions play a key part in essentially overseeing the correct organization of data that might help a president and an executive branch stay informed about key issues where action is needed and necessary. In the next lesson, we're going to look at independent agencies. Independent agencies are also a key part of the executive branch of the federal government. Thank you very much for tuning in, and good luck with completing the rest of the lesson.